Donald Trump did not comply with the January 6th Select Committee's subpoena. Of course, he was required by this subpoena to turn over documents related to January 6th, as well as appear for a testimony in front of the committee. And he just ignored the request altogether, or I should say the demand, because this is a subpoena. Here is their Twitter account, the January 6th committee, announcing this. Former President Trump has refused to comply with the Select Committee's subpoena requiring him to appear for a deposition. His attorneys have made no attempt to negotiate an appearance, and his lawsuit parades out many of the same arguments that courts have rejected repeatedly. Donald Trump orchestrated a scheme to overturn a presidential election and block the transition or transfer, I should say, of power. He is obligated to provide answers to the American people. The committee will evaluate next steps in the litigation and regarding the former president's non-compliance. So we'll see how they move forward on that. Because an average Joe, if you just ignored a congressional subpoena, you would have charges brought onto you. How they'll deal with Trump, we'll see. But if they do indeed go that route, that's just another stack on the very, very tall stack now of legal problems Trump has. Benny Thompson, the chair, and then the vice chair, Liz Cheney, also expanded on this in a statement saying, former President Trump has failed to comply with the Select Committee's subpoena requiring him to appear for a deposition today. Even though the former president initially suggested that he would testify before the committee, he has since filed a lawsuit asking the courts to protect him from giving testimony. His attorneys have made no attempt to negotiate an appearance of any sort, and his lawsuit parades out many of the same arguments. This is similar to their other statement that courts have rejected repeatedly over the last year. The truth is that Donald Trump, like several of his closest allies, is hiding from the Select Committee's investigation and refusing to do what more than 1,000 other witnesses have done, which is true. And it would be so fascinating to see what they're able to get out of a possible testimony. Now, like a million of these other people, the question I always have is, why not plead the fifth? Obviously, a lot of times you would avoid doing that because you think it might look bad, even though it is your right. But with Trump, you can just say this is a corrupt committee. You know, if you're thinking from his perspective, this is a corrupt committee. They're just trying to dishonestly corner me, so instead I pled the fifth. And that's what he did in the New York case about his business practices, and why he wouldn't just do that and avoid any possible further legal troubles for himself, I don't know. But there it is. He's not complying, and we'll see how the committee decides to respond. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to be a part of what makes this show possible, plus get access to the full video version of the show hours before any of the clips are uploaded to YouTube, plus get access to an extra full show every Saturday that only members can see, you can do so by going to patreon.com/Luke Beasley. That's patreon.com/Luke Beasley, and there is a link in the description.